Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Ann Strayer and I will be leading meditation at 10 a.m. And welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Ann Strayer, and I will be you in a guided meditation this morning. I invite you to relax Becoming comfortable in your seat. Apparently, I have some audio connection. Good morning, and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Ann Strayer. I will be leading you in a guided meditation. Good morning, and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Ann Strayer. I'm a licensed practitioner, and I invite all of you to join me for today's guided meditation. I invite you to relax, becoming comfortable in your seat, and I invite you to take a slow, deep breath. With just one slow, deep breath, a more healthy and calm signal is relayed and received throughout your entire body. Allow your breath to be smooth, slow, and sacred. With each sacred breath, your body is nourished with the love of spirit. For a few moments, just allow your attention to rest in your breathing, becoming aware of each sacred breath. No matter how slowly you are breathing at this moment, allow yourself to breathe just a little slower, calming your respiration, your body, and your mind. And now imagine yourself surrounded by love. All that you feel and all that you sense, love. Allow this love to permeate every cell of your body. Inhale love and exhale love. The breath that you breathe is the very breath of spirit. It is the breath of love. Ernest Holmes wrote, "Love is the central flame of the universe, the very fire itself." It is written that God is love, and that we are its express likeness, the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. Love is an essence, an atmosphere, which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common to all people, all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. Words cannot express its depth or meaning. And in this moment, I invite you to find a higher level of consciousness, a deeper sense of kindness, a beautiful, warm sensation of love. One love, one heart, one mind. One love, one heart, one mind. Bask in the awareness of love. Allow yourself to feel and experience love of spirit. Love, one heart, one mind. love, one heart, one mind. Rastafarian and reggae artist Bob Marley reminds us through the lyrics of his song to give thanks and praise to the Lord, and you will feel all right. Let's get together and feel all right. There is a deep love at the center of my being, which is undisturbed, which is forever at peace with the universe around me. There is no sense of hurry or worry, just a calm, peaceful sense of love. I rest in love, trust, and rely on the spirit of love. Bring more love into my experience. One love, one heart, one mind. Love, one heart, one mind. Now gently bring your attention back to your breath, back to your physical body, and back to the present moment. Breathing in one more sacred breath. Feeling the nourishment of spirit and allowing the love of spirit to express itself as a gentle smile upon your face. Thank you for joining me in this guided meditation. I invite you to stay tuned and join us at 10:30 for an amazing Sunday celebration. Namaste.
Good morning and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Margie Salmons and I am a prayer practitioner at the center here, and it is my honor to bring you the coveted announcements this morning. So I am compelled to tell you, those of you that are watching live right now already know this because you're on YouTube, but we do offer, because of the pandemic, our services on YouTube and live streamed. And also we'll post it later, the service later, to our Facebook page. So enjoy the service, have your coffee. I know some of you are just sitting there in your pajamas. So sit back and let me bring you the announcements. First of all, please join us via Zoom for our ongoing Wednesday Community Connections. Now, you can look in the CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter for the Zoom sign-in, or you can call our office. You can also find the Zoom sign-in on our Facebook page. We've added a new component of spiritual practice to our Wednesday Community Connection. We're hosting the 40-day prosperity program developed by John Randall Price. So Reverend Gregory Toole has created a private Facebook group called the CCSL 40-Day Prosperity Challenge, and everyone is invited to join. So click where it says to join the group and feel free to invite others from our community that are participating in the 40-Day Prosperity Challenge. Everyone can join the private Facebook group. We look forward to it. Open Hearts Open Mic is coming up soon. It's a celebration of community and creativity. Jay Westfall will be emceeing for our next event. Michelle Fott will lead us in joyful laughter. Laura Adair will share her gorgeous vocals. So please plan to be there. We'll see you at 7 p.m. on Friday, August 14th. If you're interested in sharing your creative contribution to the world, contact Jim Hetzer at jahetzer@sbcglobal.net to learn more. This event takes place via Zoom, of course, and see your, again, CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter for the Zoom link. It's located on our Facebook page as well, or again, you can call Robin at the office. We want to keep her busy. Would you like to have some fun, some more fun, and extend your connection with the CCSL community? Well, join us for our next virtual choir project. All you need is a smartphone and the willingness to sing. We will take care of all the technical stuff. Everyone is invited and welcome, whether you're in choir or not. The music team is looking forward to co-creating something special with all of you. So contact Carissa at carissacreates.com to let us know that you're in. That's going to be exciting. And as always, if you want prayer after service or any time throughout this week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our updated website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our website. Please do so. We love to pray. So that's the news for today. Let's all sing our opening song.
Good morning. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. If we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. If we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Yeah, 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 yeah. I see it in everyone. Yeah, your light is shining brighter and brighter every day. of who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Good morning and welcome to, thank you so much, Carissa, for that beautiful song. And good morning to all of you. Welcome. We are, as you know, an inclusive organization. We welcome you just as you are because we know that you are whole, perfect, and complete. And the Spirit of the Divine made you perfectly for a very high purpose in this life. So we not only accept you and embrace you and include you, we love you just the way you are. Thank you for being you. Thank you for joining us this morning on our YouTube channel at Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. If you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so now. And remember to give it a thumbs up and ring the bell and all of those good techie things. We would love to have you join us. Also, a recording of today's service we posted on our Facebook page. So let's, as it comes up on your screen, let's read our mission statement together. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. Yes, and so it is. I'd like to thank our practitioner, Ann Strayer, brand new practitioner, Ann Strayer. We have 3 brand new practitioners, Tammy Evans, Ann Strayer, and Kristen Wilcox. Thank you so much, Ann, for doing a beautiful job on the meditation this morning and for holding our virtual high watch for the service today. And I'd love to reintroduce a woman who needs no introduction, practitioner Margie Salmons, who will be assisting us with the service today.
Thank you, Reverend Gregory. Now we will begin our sacred service with the ringing of the bowl. I would like to introduce our community member, Julie Colburn, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Julie.
Good morning. The reading today is by Caroline Mace. When the moment for surrendering our questions finally arrives, we don't go through the list item by item. Instead, those people who manage to heal release an entire mindset that takes the whole list with it. This represents a cleansing of the ego that liberates the embittered self. In its place emerges an inner truth that assures you that nothing was a mistake or an accident, and that all things can be healed.
Now let the music take us within.
I call home right now all the pieces of myself. I call home right now all of me. I am here
I am home. And what that means to me is I am aligned with that infinite heart, that love, that joy, that omnipresent power that is what I call God, spirit, source. That power that comes through to and as me and every person with love and joy and celebration and compassion. I am home as I align with that energy. And I know that is true for each and every person hearing my word and those that do not. That each and every one of us are at home with spirit. It is our natural state, the alignment of spirit, of source. And so I claim for each and every person that there is that joy coursing through their lives, even amidst the conditions. I claim that today's celebration enhances and expands that joy from the heart and out into the world, because I know that this is the true nature of each and every being, each and every individual expression of spirit. And so I bless this service and the beautiful music. I honor the words that speak to my heart. And I know that it is perfect and it just expands each and every one of us. And for that, I am thankful, I am grateful, I am appreciative. So I release this prayer into the law that always says yes, and I welcome walking into that. And so I invite you to join me by closing and saying, and so it is.
I call home right now all the pieces of myself. I call home right now all of me. I am here. I am now. I am home. I am home. I'm home. I am home. I'm home. I am home. I
Good morning.
It's not that unusual when everything is beautiful. It's just another ordinary miracle today. The sky knows when it's time to snow. Don't need to teach the seed to grow. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Life is like a gift, they say, wrapped up for you every day. Open up and find a way to give some of your own. Isn't it remarkable? Like every time a raindrop falls, it's just another ordinary miracle today. Birds in winter have their flame, but always make it home again. It's just another ordinary miracle today. When you wake up every day, please don't throw your dreams away. Hold them close so exceptional that things just work out after all. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Sun comes up and shines so bright and disappears again at night. It's just another ordinary miracle today. Ooh, ooh, it's just another ordinary miracle today.
Thank you, Laura Adair. Beautiful song. Thank you so much. And good morning again, Columbus Center for Spiritual Living community. How good it is to be with you all this morning. And we have a wonderful topic today. Our theme for this month is inclusion in action. And I find it really interesting that, because when I looked at that title, that theme for the month, I thought, gosh, I thought we already did that. But we already did that because the world already gave us that, right? The world gave us that topic. And now in the beautiful divine order of things, we have, planned long ago this theme for this month, inclusion in action. So we got to respond to the world, and now we get to proactively look at this topic of inclusion in action. And today's topic is let's get together and feel all right, which is a line from the Bob Marley song, One Love, One Heart. And I'm a fan of Bob Marley. I've always liked Bob Marley, and what a interesting story his life is. He only lived 36 years, passed away of cancer at 36 in 1981. But what an amazing impact this man had in his relatively short life. He was more than just a musician. For one, he was a world-known musician in his own right, and still very popular even today, and kind of maybe thought of as like the consummate reggae musician. But also he was a statesman for the country of Jamaica. He was also a spiritual leader in his own right on some levels too. And this song One Love, that where we draw our topic from today, was I should say rewritten. I guess it first came out in the 60s, but then like the version we know today came out, I believe, in 1977, during a time where there was a lot of turmoil in Jamaica around the election, a lot of violence and those things. And Bob Marley was a peacemaker. He was an influencer. Who he endorsed for president was a big deal. And in that election, he decided he wasn't going to endorse anyone, that he was going to be a peacemaker for his country. And so here we had this line, let's come together and feel all right. Let's do that. Let's come together and feel all right. Like, let's be okay with each other. Let's come together and let's feel all right. Even when we don't feel all right, when we feel uncomfortable with each other, let's come together and feel all right in the sense that we can be comfortable, we can be okay with the discomfort. One of the things I really want to invite us into today is to reach across all of these divides, quote divides, right? There are no real divides because we believe in oneness, that all of life is one. There is no separation. So all of the divides we make up in our minds, and they're all illusions. Genetically, interestingly enough, we are, as human beings, we are 99.9% the same in our DNA genetically. Isn't that amazing? That everything that makes us different is in that 0.1, not even 1%, in that 0.1% is what makes up all the differences that we fight about and argue about, or that we think like, oh, we're better, we're this, we're that. But we're essentially, as human beings, we're the same. And yet in this beautiful life that is spirit, that is God, there is still all of this amazing diversity. There are something like 8.7 million species of animals and plants, and 370,000 species just of plants itself. And then within the human race, as we can see, just such diversity of cultures, of language, of skin color, of just all kinds of beautiful diversity that we get to embrace. Tracy Brown, who many of you may know, she was the chair of our leadership council up until recently, up until February, for a couple years. And she also is someone I worked with some years ago around diversity and inclusion within Centers for Spiritual Living, when we were taking a deep look at that. And then we created a commission, which I helped to co-found. And that still goes on vibrantly today. And they do all kinds of trainings all around to all of our CSL communities. And they do wonderful work. So I highly recommend that you seek them out and look at what they offer in classes and training and that sort of thing. And Tracy said that inclusion, that diversity plus spirituality equals inclusion. Because you've got diversity just is, you can't say like, I don't want diversity, I don't like diversity. It doesn't matter, because diversity just is, as I just laid out in terms of how many species there are and how many ways that we show up on the planet. It's as Ernest Holmes said, it's unity in multiplicity. So this idea that oneness does not equal sameness, in this infinite intelligence and creativity, of course, all kinds of diversity would emerge in nature, in human beings. Each one of us, of course, is absolutely unique. But the invitation today is, can we reach across those seeming divides? Politically, can we reach across and understand what is this other person? Where are they coming from? If I'm a Democrat, reach out to a Republican. If I'm a Republican, reach out to a Democrat, and really listen to each other, not to solve any problems, not to win any debates, just to really hear each other, because often we really don't even know what the other believes. I saw a video this week that was very interesting. It's like a 2-minute video. It's a journalist who, a white man, who decided to go to Harrison, Arkansas, and stand on a corner with a Black Lives Matter sign. Now, the important thing about Harrison, Arkansas, is that it's officially the headquarters for the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan. Very racist organization, obviously, throughout much of the recent history of our country. And so he decided to do this experiment, and he had a hidden camera, and he stood on the corner just to see what would happen. And people drove by with all kind of hate toward him. People called him the N-word, even though he was a white man, because he had that sign. And he did note that there were other people who were positive as well, but he recorded all these people that had such negative reactions. Then he did record one woman at the end who walked up to him with a little note and handed it to him. And when he read the note, it said, "Keep doing what you're doing well, thank you for what you're doing," something to that effect. It was praise and gratitude for him. And as I listened to the comments, because I'm one that, rather than taking it personally or getting offended by it, I'm one, even in that circumstance, which would certainly warrant taking it personally and being offended, my curiosity kicks in, and that part of me that gets really curious to say, what is this about? Like, this isn't our nature as human beings to hate. Like, our nature is love. Our essence is love, spiritually, truthfully. That's who we are. So my curiosity kicked in as to what's going on here. And one of the interesting things that I heard, a theme that several people, because people were yelling out their cars. Most of them weren't even walking along. It was on a busy street. But several people yelled things to the effect of, because of the Black Lives Matter sign, white lives matter too. white lives are important too. Or are you saying that Black lives are more important than white lives? And that was very informative to me. It really said, oh, because I could never think of why anyone would have a problem with anyone, given the history of our country, with anyone saying Black Lives Matter. It's like, of course they do. And now we need to acknowledge that, since, we have a history of injustice and things like that, where it would appear that Black lives are less important. And so I thought, I know this won't happen because Black Lives Matter is much more of a crisp statement, but maybe like in parentheses, the word TOO, Black Lives Matter too. Because that statement really doesn't mean, it's not a racist statement. Some people have called it a racist statement, that it means that somehow we're saying Black people are more important or Black people matter more. And what it's really saying is Black people matter too, and it's responding to a lot of appearances in our society, in our country, where Black lives matter less. And so I just love that we're in this experience with each other right now. We're really in this inclusion and action experience, and it just kind of happened to us as a country. And isn't it interesting that as this pandemic is teaching us about oneness, because it really is teaching us about oneness. It really is teaching us about our interdependence and our interconnectedness. For anyone who's paying attention, it becomes obvious, oh, I'm not a little island. What I do affects others. What others do affects me. And it's really one of those situations for those of us that are conscious, where we're aware that we're in this together and we have to do this thing together and we have to solve it together. And we're not just a little island. We are connected. We are one. And so this pandemic is really teaching us about oneness. And isn't it interesting that while this pandemic is teaching us about oneness, at the same time, it's also teaching us about inclusion? I think that's really fascinating because those two, the issues around racism and injustice and things like that aren't new. So it's interesting that in 2020, we've got this pandemic teaching us about oneness. And then we've also got this pandemic teaching us about inclusion and teaching us where we might have missed the mark around inclusion. So something Ernest Holmes said is the first great discovery that man made was that he could think. This was the day when he first said, I am. This marked his first day of personal attainment. From that day, man became an individual and had to make all further progress himself. From that day, there was no compulsory evolution. He had to work in conscious union with life. And I just love that, because our evolution from this point forward, as Holmes says, is really our conscious evolution. How are we growing? How are we choosing to evolve ourselves as a human species? And so this inclusion is one of those aspects. I was looking up a little bit about tribalism today, because there's some scientific data that would say that tribalism is part of our evolutionary genetic makeup, if you will. There's a biological reason for tribalism. And it was part of our survival, right? That because we needed others to survive, that this got built into our DNA, so to speak, or into our biology, that we form into little tribes, right? Either based on race or politics or whatever. It's like part of our biological makeup. But what we also know, what neuroscientists are discovering, is that we can rewire our brains. We're not fixed by our biology. And of course, we have so many examples of that. There are many survival type things that we don't engage in today. Like most of us aren't in waging physical battles for our survival today, right? And we've become civilized, right? And we've evolved ourselves to a place where, the biology still exists as a tendency, but it doesn't exist as the power over us. It doesn't exist as that which has to drive us and force us to make decisions. So we get to transcend this biological survival mechanism called tribalism in our choice as humans to evolve. We get to transcend that. For me personally, I'm vegan, and one of the things I'm aware of is that our eating of meat, and this is debatable, but I asked the question, you can look at our digestive system, and our digestive system as humans is much more designed as a plant eater than it is a meat eater. Usually meat eating animals or creatures have a very short digestive tract because meat spoils pretty quickly. And so they have a very short digestive tract and, eliminate it pretty quickly. Whereas our digestive tract is very long, which is more typical of vegetarian creatures, where it can take longer for it to move through and absorb the nutrients. So, we can debate that. that's just kind of but the key to what I'm saying is that, we ate meat when it was absolutely necessary. But then there's a question today, do we have to kill animals in order to have our food today? Right. And I'm not suggesting everyone become a vegan tomorrow or vegetarian. So, don't get too upset about that. But it is a question, right? In our choosing how we're going to evolve as a species and looking at meat production as not very environmentally sustainable, we might have to ask ourselves that question. Whether we become vegetarians or vegans, we might have to say, maybe I have to eat less meat, if not for the care of animals, at least for the care of our environment, because meat production, as I said, is just very unsustainable in the long term environmental. It's a tremendous drain on the environment. So, in this consciousness of recognizing that we get to, as humans, that's a beautiful thing about being in a human incarnation and being at that level of conscious evolution, is we're not bound by our biology. We're not bound by our genetics. We're not bound by even the way our brain functions right now, that we can actually rewire our brains. We can rewire our choices. We can rewire the ways that we show up in life. We can start to make conscious choices. I love my practice of meditation, my 40-year practice of meditation, because it gives me that gap, as it has been called, right? When we meditate and we get still on a regular basis, we create that little space, that little gap. And that little space is what allows us to transcend conditions, transcend our biology, if you will, transcend our human tendencies, and begin to evolve who we are as human beings, who we are as a human species. We get to do that now, as Holmes said. We're not at that place where the universe is just evolving us per se. That takes place too, but we're also in this conscious place where we are choosing how we're going to evolve. We can create the world that we want to create. And so today we're talking about, let's get together and feel all right. Let's reach across those divides. For me personally, one of the greatest joys I get is to have a conversation, a meaningful conversation with someone who's very different from me, with someone who I think of like in my mind says you wouldn't have anything in common with that person. I even get a little anxious, like, oh boy, we're not gonna have anything in common. I'm not gonna know what to say to this person. But what I love is every time that I make the effort anyway. And then of course, there's plenty to talk about. It's a beautiful conversation. And I learn so much, and the other person hopefully learns so much as well. Transcending our tendencies rather than giving in to those tendencies. If they're tendencies that lead us into oneness and love and joy and peace, wholeness and harmony and beauty, then great, keep going with those tendencies. But those tendencies in us that would have us separate, that would have us tribalize, that would have us be in division in any way, shape, or form, let us consider that we might evolve ourselves. And in the process of evolving ourselves, we're evolving all of humanity. That's how humanity now, for the most part, evolves, is one person at a time. And each time one person evolves, we evolve all of humanity in some small way. And then some, as I see it, critical mass happens and humanity evolves. Even just taking something like social media, right? That we didn't know anything about, even let's just say 10 years ago. Now we all know about social media, and many of us participate in it. And it's a technology, of course, but it's also a whole different way of being with each other as humans that we're still learning about, you know? So the invitation today really is to reach across all of these divides, to transcend our human tendencies, to do our spiritual practice so that we do have that gap, we do have that choice, because without that gap, it's very hard to transcend anything, because before we could ever transcend it, it will already have happened, right? The tendency will already have kicked in without that gap. But with that little gap, it's a millisecond, a microsecond of a gap. And yet it's just enough time for us to watch our tendency rise and then choose. Do I go with the tendency, or is there a higher conscious choice I'm making in this moment? Let's get together and feel all right. Let's get together with each other. Let's get together with those that are different from us in our community in Columbus here. Let's get together and feel all right. Even though physically, most of us aren't getting together right now. We're getting together on Zoom, we're getting together on the phone, we're getting together in email and text and other ways that we find to connect with each other. FaceTime, all those kinds of things, right? But let's get together and feel all right. You know, Bob Marley, as I said, wrote that song at a time of great division in Jamaica, and he was calling people back together. He was calling people to come back as one. Let's be one country in that case. Let's be one country. Let's us be one country. It's our choice, really. We don't have to allow what's happening out there in the world to dictate who we're going to be and how we're going to show up. Let's get together and feel all right in the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, in our world, in our United States. Let's get together and feel all right. Thank you so much. Let's take that into prayer. And so this morning, I truly know that all of life is one, that there really is only one life, one power, one infinite presence, and that one is expressing through me. It is expressing through everyone who is listening to this broadcast right now. Each of us, a unique way that Spirit is expressing. And so from that consciousness of oneness right here, right now, I declare and know that we are coming together and feeling all right, that we are okay, we're safe with each other, that we are one human family, one human community, that we are one already, and diversity is already. And so we add our consciousness into the diversity. We add spirituality we add spirit into the diversity, which is already in there. So really what we're bringing is our consciousness. And so I know right now we are bringing our consciousness into the diversity, and we're creating inclusion right here and right now at every place that we go and everywhere we go, and right here at the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And so I just bless this community. I bless our world. Yes, I know that there is great reason to be hopeful, to be optimistic, to be excited about what is unfolding in our world right now. For all is one and all is ultimately guided by love and infinite intelligence and wisdom, regardless of appearances. And so I embrace it all. I call it all good and very good, and I know that all is well. In great gratitude for this truth, I let it be. I release this words an immutable law, and therefore I know it is done just as I have declared. I let it be. And please join with me in grounding it with the words, and so it is.
Imagine there's no heaven. It is easy to try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Thank you, Laura Adair. Thank you so much. Well, we've reached our time for giving of our gifts, and thank you so much for all the ways that you continue to support the Center during these times. We're honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually, and we appreciate your gifts, donations, and tithes that you give to CCSL. Your donations are important because it helps us to fulfill our vision statement in helping to create a world that works for everyone. As we engage with the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are circulating spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. And please join us in this 40-day prosperity challenge. Whether you can start right now. You don't have, even if you didn't start with us, and you can join us on Wednesday evenings when we get together and do the practice together. Find the Facebook page the CCSL 40-Day Prosperity Challenge Facebook page, and get with us, because this truth is eternal regardless of circumstances or conditions. So let's say this affirmation together, our offertory affirmation together, as it appears on your screen there. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
When I open my heart, when I feel it glow, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow, when I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. Light me up, fill me up, open up. Light me up, fill me up, open up. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow. When I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow, glow. When I open up my heart, I am the place where all the love flows, let it flow. Light me up, I'm shining, fill me up, I know it, open up. Light me up, I'm shining, fill me up, I know it, open up. When I open my heart, when I open my heart, when I feel it glow. When I open my heart, I let the love flow, let it flow.
Opening my heart. And I do that as I bless the givers and the gifts that are coming into the Center for Spiritual Living, because I know that the givers and the gifts are God, individually expressing with open heart, with love. And they are just moving that law of circulation that goes out and comes back, as we say, multiplied abundantly. So blessings to everyone, blessings to the energy that you put into the center, knowing that it expands and goes out into the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I release this blessing into the law, and I invite you all to sing with us.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Let us thank Laura Adair. Yes, along with Carissa Holmes, Tony Bernardi on piano, Steve Parakis on bass, and Joe Nelson on drums, who have collaborated their musical talents to provide the music for today. And thanks you to all of you who are part of our service today, our celebration service. If you're joining us for the very first time, we welcome you. Thanks for being here. And we'd love to send you a welcome packet in the mail with more information about us. And so please contact the office or send us a private Facebook message. And also, if you're not receiving information about services, please call the office or send us a private Facebook message. We want you to get everything about us. We want you to know what's going on. We want you to be in the loop. So let's say this blessing together. Please say this blessing with me as it appears on your screen. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.
All right, let's sing One Love. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children say, one love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let them all pass their dirty remarks. There is one question I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to say his own believing? One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. As it was in the beginning, one love, so shall it be in the end. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. One more time. Let's get together to fight this holy Armageddon. So when that day comes, there will be no doom. Have pity on those whose chances growing thinner. There ain't no hiding place from the source of all creation. No. One